So we've talked a little bit about duck calls throughout the show. We've talked some of decoys. We've talked about kids. We believe that it's the best thing to educate everybody that we possibly can. You know, and not over hunting an area is a good habit to pass on to the younger generation. Having some of that common knowledge of where duck hunting was and where it is now, that's all knowledge that I think is incredible to have, and I want to pass on to other people. And I know Ryan and Austin both feel the same about it too. So what we're doing today is we come out to a field to show a couple things of what we like to do when we're setting up, when we scout for a field that we're going to hunt.
Today we're sitting up against a green brush line, kind of sticker bushes, green grass, so we're gonna pick up as much stuff green as we can and brush our blinds with it.
The thing I really like to do, I'll strip my blind. A couple of my hunting buddies will make fun of me of this, but I strip my blind every hunt and rebrush it, because you get into a certain field and certain fields got different brush in it. So.
All right, so what's going on here is we got a southeast wind coming in and our birds are coming from the north and they're making a pretty straight line. They've been pretty comfortable feeding in this spot, so we're choosing not to set a whole lot of decoys today because they're so comfortable in here. We don't need as much to entice them, I feel. We gave up a little bit of distance for our good brush line. Stu likes to pace off a good 30 steps, which is something he's done since he started. We're gonna use sort of a U-shaped pattern just to give them a good pocket to land in. Like I said, the birds are already comfortable here. We know what they're doing because of good scouting, paying attention to what your birds are doing before you go hunt. And hopefully we're successful.
Well, the history that I really enjoy about waterfowling is obviously the dogs, and I'm a lab guy through and through. You know, they started back in the 1500s in Newfoundland. They were called St. John's dogs. They were used as work dogs. They worked the fishing camps.
I picked up diesel a few years ago. I chose labs because typically the most willing to work with their owner. They work to please who runs them. They want to make everybody happy around them, and they're great family dogs.
Calls have evolved from being kind of a single quack to not doing your cadence to really you're talking to the bird. You are talking to the bird in their own language and you're bringing them to you. And you know, overall calls have come a long ways to where your acrylics aren't affected with the cold. Some of your polycarbs are. I know I have a couple wood calls that once they get real wet, they expand and I lose my tone. So I've really grown fond of acrylic calls, which I run all acrylic calls because I've never had one come out of tune from being cold. A lot of the wood calls, you know, they expand and contract with the temperature outside or how much moisture's in them, or you know, as you're calling, your spit gets in them and they start to expand a little bit more, and that's going to change your tone board. So that's where I lean more towards a acrylic call, and that's just the way the call has evolved over time. So sometimes it's not all about educating the youth, it's about educating yourself too. Austin, Ryan, and myself, if we find a chance to get down to a duck call class or go to a museum or even go to a private collection and check out and take in some of that history, that's what we'll do. It's always good to educate yourself. One of the things you always work on is your calling. Your calls go everywhere with you, and even though I'm an experienced hunter, my calls still go everywhere with me. And one of the things I like to do is periodically, if I can, I'll find a duck calling class to go to.
Another part I like about this collection is I have 3 PSO calls that were handed down to me from a guy that passed away. And you know, I didn't know how cool they were until I came out to this collection and got to see all the different varieties of PSO, to the keyhole PSO, to just all the different kinds. I wasn't aware that there was that many.
If you're like me, you got a bunch of calls sitting in your locker or your safe. When you go to this class, my suggestion would be take out your 2 favorite calls, the one you can't get to sound right and the one that sounds absolutely beautiful. Take those calls with you to that duck calling class because those guys are going to teach you how to operate both of them. I would highly recommend the class to anybody and everybody.
You know, this collection brings so much history and knowledge. You know, I've learned a lot coming into this collection. Going as far back as the market hunting era to the couple newer calls that he has. You know, I can compare them. There's so much history and so much different stuff in this collection that brings you so much further than just killing the bird or going out and making a stack with your buddies. I mean, there is really so much more to hunting than just making a stack. And this place defines that.
So this year we had a chance to work with some awesome sponsors. One of those sponsors being Leatherman. Make a great product. I carry my Leatherman everywhere I possibly can. If you go to our Facebook page, give us a like and a share, it enters you in a chance to win this Leatherman Charge TTI with our logo laser etched on it. So right now, go to Facebook, give us a like and share, Waterfowl Evolution, for your chance to win this Leatherman Charge.
Waterfowl Evolution, brought to you by Cargo Glide, work, play, life. ARE, outfit for life. Garmin, in it for the long haul. Fowl Plucker, a duck hunter's second best friend. Carlson's Choke Tubes, the shooter's choice. 456 Chevy trucks, 1960 to 66 Chevy and GMC trucks.